CEO of Northeast Independent Living Program.
Thank you all for coming. I'm going to do a little side saddle with the podium here, so I'm not hidden behind it. I want to thank the planning committee. So that would be led by Jackie McDonough. She's been here about a year now, a little over a year now. She's great. She's great on these events. And I want to thank the team who helped. Mark Wheeler, Lisa DiGiuseppe, Allison Farrow, Emily Soares, and then a few of our board members were on the planning committee, Jeff Wilson, Ron Lassman, David Bradburn. So thank you all. So, I also want to thank our sponsors. Give me a second here. We have United Healthcare, Molina Healthcare, Constant Contact, Hirsch Roberts and Weinstein, our friends at that bank and H-Span, Commonwealth Care Alliance, Cross Insurance, CORD, Cape Organization for the Rights of the Disabled, they're an ILC down on the Cape, Newburyport Bank, and Disability Law Center. Also want to thank all the organizations that placed ads in our program book. I want to recognize a few guests as well. Representative Don Shand is here from the 1st Essex District. Thank you for coming. Our friends in the legislature helped us get an increase in our IL funding this year, which is, as we know, a tough year to get an increase. Hopefully the governor releases that money, right, Sadie, soon? So tonight is more than just celebrating 40 years of NILP, but also the independent living movement itself, an ongoing effort. I'm going to pick this up because I cannot read it. The ongoing effort to expand resources, improve the quality of services, and increase access for people with disabilities in the community. So NALP was actually founded by two pioneers in disability rights, Susan Halloran and Charlie Carr. These were individuals, These were individuals who truly embodied independent living and the independent living principle of self-direction. Both experienced spinal cord injuries as they entered adulthood in the early 1970s. This was a time in the disability community. They were inspired by other civil rights movements of the era and began organizing for their own freedoms. So I actually, just coincidentally, got a call from Charlie Carr today, who was calling us about something completely different. He was advocating because he thought our phone system wasn't accessible enough. So, I got to talking to him about tonight's event. I reminded him we're having our 45th anniversary. And I told him how he's still advocating with his own organization this time later. But he wanted me to read a little blurb from him. And I'm going to scrap what I was prepared to say in this because I was going to talk about how they started NALP, but I thought it'd be great to come from his voice. He said, as co-founder and CEO of NALP for its first 28 years, I just want to tell you a little bit about what it was like back then. 3 staff started in a cubicle donated to us by MRC at 429 Broadway in Lawrence and reached out to people with disabilities doing needs assessments. And this involved traveling throughout Greater Merrimack Valley and the North Shore, meeting people and spreading the word of independent living. Little by little, we grew from no participants to about 30 in the first year, and it began to triple year after year. We embraced the Independent Living Center at Berkeley model from the very beginning, which pushed hard to include consumer control, cross-advocacy, cross-disability, individual and systems advocacy, and skills training, peer support, and steady communication and inclusion of members in all that we did whenever possible. The only way people at the time could access IL programming was through the Boston Center for Independent Living, or Worcester, what is now Center for Living and Working. Upon the creation of NILP, we covered the entire Merrimack Valley and pushed for the creation of a center in Salem, known as, what is now known as Disability Rights Center. I left NILP in 2007 to join the Patrick administration as Commissioner of Mass Rehab, and I now work as a lobbyist for the Disability Policy Consortium. My journey is the journey of many people who believe in NILP, and I want to give a special shout out to Jim Lyons, the longest serving staff member who virtually created the accessibility program in cities and towns. Jim's been here for 41 years. So he ends this by saying, under Matt's leadership, NILP is a vibrant and relevant ILC that has grown tremendously, but has not abandoned its basic roots. So those are words from Charlie, one of the co-founders of NILP. He's still a really respected advocate today. So building on Charlie's foundation, my predecessor, Judy Savageau, expanded NILP's programs outside of typical independent living services. Today, we're a designated recovery learning community, which demonstrates NILP's commitment to supporting people with all types of disabilities, including mental health challenges, addiction, and trauma. We also began providing care coordination for Mass Health members, which is a way to bring independent living values into the state's healthcare delivery system. NILP has continued expanding our reach today, more recently becoming a provider with the VA for the Veterans Directed Care Program, a service that allows veterans and their families to manage long-term care needs in a consumer-directed way in their homes. Our youth program has come up with innovative ways to ready high schoolers with disabilities for gainful employment. 38 students participated in our specialized driver's ed manual training course held over the school vacation weeks to help them pass their learner's permit test. We also assisted 33 high schoolers gain work experience through paid internships with local businesses in our pre-employment transition services program. So as an organization, and some of you know this, where most of our staff are people with disabilities, this mission is personal to us. Many of our staff face the same barriers that the consumers we serve. This can be inaccessible and unaffordable housing. It can be stressful letters from insurance companies questioning medical necessity. It can be the constant challenge of recruiting reliable personal care attendants. When I first began NILP as a skills trainer, meeting with consumers in their homes and in nursing homes, it was never lost on me that even though I was a working adult with a disability, there was a very fine line between myself and the challenging circumstances that many of our consumers found themselves in. And I knew that if I did find myself needing help someday, at some point in the future, I'd be glad that I would have a Center for Independent Living to turn to with staff that understood my challenges. So this is why peer support matters. This is why lived experience matter. It's why NILP and other ILCs are run by and for people with disabilities. So our theme tonight is Together for Independence. Judy Heumann, which was one of the leaders of the independent living movement, she once said, independence is about isn't about doing everything yourself, but about having control over how things are done. So independence, as we know, is an intrinsic right to have control over one's own life, to have successes, to make mistakes, and then if you make mistakes, not have society think you shouldn't be allowed to make those mistakes. because you have a disability. For these reasons, I can ask you to continue supporting NILP and our consumer community. In the years ahead, we're gonna face challenges and threats to funding, but I'm hopeful because our community faces adversity every day, and we've overcome those difficult challenges. So tonight is gonna be a fun celebration of the past and the future. We wanna thank the Brandy Band for being here to entertain us. Dinner's gonna be served very soon. I'm gonna turn it back over to Jackie, who's gonna introduce a video that further shares our mission. Thank you all for coming.